The episodes just keep getting better, which is something you can't really say about Star Wars nowadays, now can ya? But let me tell you what though, Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 4 is on a whole other level. Last week was good and short. This week was perfect. Almost. Welcome to my spoiler review for Ahsoka, Episode 4, The Fallen Jedi. So if you haven't seen Episode 4 as of yet, you may want to go do that and then come back here. This is hands down my favorite episode of Ahsoka so far. I suspect it's gonna be everyone's favorite so far, actually. And with good reason too. The cinematography in this episode one-upped itself from last week. The music and the fight choreography, this episode alone makes the entire show so far, which is weird because we are halfway through, yet I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like this should only be the third episode, not really the half, at least not the half of a 8-episode series. That might just be me though. But I feel as though we're being told a lot of things that we should have seen, like Ahsoka and Sabine's training previously before this. Why couldn't we have had one episode dedicated to the past to see Ahsoka training Sabine and their eventual split so that by the time we get to Episode 4, which will have been Episode 5 in my version, it would have felt like a real halfway point because at that point we would have had some space for some space meat. Because right now, story-wise, we are running on appetizers and being told that the meal was great. Will 8 episodes be enough? Personally, no. But I think it's gonna work regardless. I was texting a friend about Ahsoka today, and here are some comparisons I made. Ahsoka is like a pair of shoes that you find at the store that you immediately fall in love with. There are tiny things you change about the shoes, but for some reason they just work and you just love it regardless. You try it on, and technically it's a perfect fit. But that means there really is no room for your little toesies to wiggle. There's no toe room. So they fit exactly, but technically they fit. They work. They just feel a little tight, a little snug. So you commit happily, but there'll always be that one thought at the back of your mind. I just wish there was some more room for my toesies. Some toe room. But they look cute as hell on me! Ahsoka is like an exact fitting pair of shoes that you love and technically fit and technically work, and you just wish there was a little more toe room for them little piggies to squirm about. It's great, but I just wish Ahsoka Disney Plus had 2 more episodes for some toe room. Some necessary filler, if you will. We just haven't really gotten that much Ahsoka development so far, but I do suspect because ANAKIN, who we will talk about later. But focusing on Episode 4 alone, this episode was the fights episode. So many fights! We had Huyang versus an attack droid, of which I thought was absolutely ridiculous when the attack droid covered Huyang's mouth and actually muffled the sound. It's a robot! I don't buy it, but it's fine. It's Star Wars. We had Sabine versus Shin Hati rematched, Ahsoka versus Marrok, which we will circle back to Marrok a little later, and Ahsoka versus Baylon. 4 fights that pretty much lasted the entire 36 minutes. But I told you Sabine and Shin Hati was going to have a rematch, but to quote Anakin himself at the end of this episode, I didn't expect to see you so soon. I'm not complaining, but dang, we moved quickly, which seems to be, you know, a little bit of a factor towards what I'm saying. It just feels a little stuffed, like a turkey, like a Thanksgiving turkey. I think not having that backstory filler episode really harms the fact that Sabine truly is a expert combatist. It's entirely believable that lightsaber training is like riding a bike for Sabine. You just pick it up and it all comes back to you after a couple goes. But to those who wouldn't know this because they haven't done their research watching Rebels and I guess just Rebels in this case, I feel like it would just be one of those like, oh yay, she can handle herself now because that's where we're at. But if you think about it, she technically didn't win. It was a standstill. So her first fight, she lost. Her second fight was a standstill. So I think I might still be technically right. I think there's going to be another rematch and she is going to use the Force and she's going to actually succeed in using the Force and she's going to win that way. That's my guess. But Ahsoka versus Marrok? Whoa. Those were some great fight choreography right there. And the acting from whomever is in the suit of Marrok, I don't know why I got proper there for a second, but I mean, hey, grammar Nazis, you're welcome. This fight had both Ahsoka and Marrok in fighting stances, and I love the fact that this was basically an homage to Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul in season 3? season 3 of Rebels. But boy, Ahsoka is making quick work of these Inquisitors. I genuinely need someone to make a supercut, but a supercut of all of the Inquisitors that Ahsoka has defeated so far. We got the 6th brother from Tales of a Jedi. We got the Inquisitor dudes, I don't know how many they were, but we got the Rebels Inquisitors that she fought. We have Marrok, and we have and we can't forget about the Inquisitors that she defeated in the books, of which tells the story of how she got her white lightsabers, and I think she used Inquisitor kyber crystals. So at this point, Ahsoka, homegirl, she's just an Inquisitor exterminator professional. She literally said, ugh, menial tasks and slice. Ahsoka versus Baylon, however, the late Ray Stevenson, may he rest in peace, is giving an insane performance as the fallen Jedi who's lost hope in the things that he grew up believing. Honestly, I relate with characters like Baylon and Kylo Ren, so I have a little special place for them in my heart. But I love that the sound design team added a little more tender love and care for Baylon's lightsaber duel, because if you notice, they add almost like a metal clanking sound, almost like Iron Man's hammer hitting the metal in Iron Man 1. But anytime Baylon would specifically just angrily slash at Ahsoka, you could hear almost this metallic banging instead of just the lightsabers. It was incredible. The sound effects really did elevate Ray Stevenson's performance, though they didn't need to, because Ray Stevenson is doing an amazing job delivering those lines of giving off and I'm gonna you up if you don't stay in line kind of energy and attitude. And I just want to apologize to Mary Elizabeth Winstead, because she's honestly doing a great job. She's just had a rough start. I am suddenly in love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead's performance. Maybe all she needed was just her kid, which is an awful thing to say. But speaking about Jason, actually, I did like the fact that they gave the famous line, "I have a bad feeling," to Jason. But what I didn't understand is why they had him say that after the hyperspace ring star jumped into hyperspace. I would have had Jason say it before, so that Hera would have been like, oh shit, my son has force powers, and oh shit, they're about to jump into hyperspace. Now, someone please tell me, was the Ghost and the other rebel ships in front of the hyperspace ring star? Because if so, then I am calling shenanigans on this. I am not going to accept the fact that the ships are perfectly fine because the ring would have gone around Hera and the other rebels. No, it's called physics. All of the ships in that vicinity, either in front or behind, would have absolutely been decimated. How do we know this? The Holdo maneuver is how we know this. In The Last Jedi, of which we still don't know is going to be retconned yay or nay, Vice Admiral Holdo used the hyperspace jumping to ram this cruiser that the Resistance were using into the First Order dreadnought, causing it to split in half, but also causing the other surrounding ships to be decimated entirely. And they were smaller ships. They were not in the line of fire, but they were in the line of aftershock. So that tells me that the Ghost in this situation should have been absolutely destroyed. Of course they can't do that because Jason was on board, and that's probably why they were just fine, and why it wasn't their ship that got crashed into other things. But dang, the damage that the hyperspace ring star happened when the two rebel ships. Really, Hera, you foolish girl, what you doing taking your child into full-on battle? I know you really can't leave him behind. You don't really got anybody to take care of him. I mean, where's Seb? Where is Seb? Okay, now let's talk about him. Anakin Skywalker. What do you think he meant by, I didn't expect to see you so soon? Is Ahsoka dead? And what is this place? Well, in the final season of Rebels, Ezra and Ahsoka managed to enter the world between worlds, which is basically the embodiment of space-time continuum. Or if you've seen Marvel's What If, it's that place where the Watcher resides. But in this place, you can see all of the events of pretty much everything in your universe, past, present, and future. So, that begs the question, again, is Ahsoka dead? Did Anakin pull her in to save her? How is Anakin even there? I don't know, and I don't care. It's digitally de-aged Anakin and Ahsoka in live action for the first time ever. And I was screaming at 12 a.m. because I forget that I can watch these at 8 p.m. when they've dropped. But that digital de-aging though, I rewatched Aquaman recently, and Willem Dafoe is rough to look at. Not because of my PTSD of seeing the Green Goblin any and every time I see him, but because the visual effects on his digitally de-aged face are really, really bad. so bad, I literally forgot that that was the exact comment I made when I first saw the movie. About that de-aging on Anakin, though not quite as bad, it still was pretty bad. But it's really great to see Hayden Christensen become basically the Nick Fury or the Stan Lee or the Watcher of the Star Wars universe, with him popping in and out of projects with his digitally de-aged face so poorly done because Victoria Alonso was still in charge at that time. I did go there and I stand by it. The proof is where? It's in the pudding, my little filmer dudes. She was fired for a reason, many reasons in fact, but it can all be summed up with 3 words: MCU Phase 4. I have seen the internet blow up over the true identity of Merrick. Apparently, Merrick is a big deal. I thought he was pretty cool when I saw him in episode 1 or 2. Either one. It was one of them. When he first appeared, when he first popped up, you know, I think it was, yeah, when he first popped up. I didn't really do any deep analysis into who this guy is because one, I just know they're gonna reveal who he is. Maybe not now. But woe on me because here I am using he. We don't know who this individual is, if it's what this individual's gender is, what this individual's race, planetary race is. We don't even know if this individual is a droid. So I mean, dude, slap a dick. But when Ahsoka sliced Merrick's chest, all of that seems super weird to you, right? It's almost as if she just wanted to open the suit and release whatever evil Darth Mirian creature concoction spell was in him out of him. So maybe Merrick isn't really anyone or anything. It's just a Dathmirian creation, but that would be lame. That'd be super lame. So I really, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with Merrick? But if Merrick doesn't come back in some capacity, then dang. He went from calling it being Boba Fetted to being Captain Phasma'd to now being Merricked. I'm honestly not sure what would be worse. But I mean, it does sound kind of cool. But at least Merrick got to do something cool opposed to Boba Fett and Captain Phasma, who in retrospect did absolutely nothing. But let me know about your thoughts about Merrick's death and if you think he's gonna come back, or who or what do you think he is? Or they, or she, or, you know, whatever squirrel, whatever the squirrel it is. I'm gonna say that from now on. But that was my spoiler review for Ahsoka Episode 4, The Fallen Jedi. What did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out my sushi media links and my Patreon and my website link also in the description below. Please like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more reviews and reactions like these. And I will see you next time. You've just been Montified.